What's up, YouTube? How much time do we got on this beat? Yeah, not too much left. We're gonna just pause it. The Bulls are playing right now, and I would like to get the stream, finished in its entirety to hopefully catch the end of a close game there. Welcome to KO Bets. My name is Bill. This is the show where we discuss upcoming betting strategies for UFC events. My name is Bill. I'm here to help make you some money and provide you with some entertainment tonight. My apologies if I get a sneezing fit during this broadcast. I have terrible allergies. I went on a run. My eyes were like watering. As soon as I got home, just like, I got a bloody nose. I can't, my nose won't stop dripping. I feel like I'm made of boogers right now. That's what I'm dealing with tonight. So I apologize if I go on a sneezing fit. Watch out for projectiles. So on tonight's stream, we got an NFT update to give, right? Let me just make sure I've got accurate numbers, but I believe we're at 63 subscribers. Upon reaching 100, we're going to give away an NFT. Damn, is this episode 132? Wow. We've got to review last week's UFC 287 event, Pereira against Adesanya 2. Let's see how we did. Yeah, there were a couple of, spots we got. I had a great live bet on Sam Hughes outside of round 1. Let's pull up this. Yeah, I placed a great live bet on Sam Hughes, but my big pick beforehand was Jacqueline. Thought she'd be able to do it in one round. It seemed like, wasn't she like 8-0, 6-0, all 6 in the first round? Thought she was going to get it done, wasn't able to. You could see she was getting gassed out. Placed a nice live bet on Sam Hughes. I did that the week before on someone else. And it's just always good to be aware. So I marked a few fights where I think there's opportunities maybe this week to do that, just because I've had some success the past 2 weeks. I picked Shailin, Steve Garcia with the impressive knockout in round 2. Ignacio Bahamundes. He just put on a clinic. It was a decision. Lupi Godinez came back with the big W. Joe Pyfer. Oh yeah, Chase Sermon against Carl Williams. That was canceled. Joe Pyfer with the first round KO wins it. Luana Pinheiro wins the split decision. I think we got kind of lucky there. Calvin Gastelum pulls off the impressive win over Chris Curtis. I don't know, like statistically, I get what people are saying. Like it's a really close fight. But Calvin, I thought, took round 1. I also gave him round 2. And then I gave Chris Curtis round 3, but I don't know. It felt like Gastelum won that fight, and I don't really get what the argument for Curtis was. I thought it was a unanimous decision in Calvin's favor, probably 29-28 is how I felt. This is where I got burned. Raul Rosas Jr. He lost to a very impressive Christian Rodriguez. It was even worse because I bet on a submission, hoping, if Raul Rosas Jr. lost this fight, he would, maybe we'd still hit the bet Christian Rodriguez would get the submission. Went to a decision, so just unfortunate on those two. Kevin Holland and Santiago Ponzinibbio. We hit the big win on Kevin Holland with the KO. Round 3, too. Rob Font looked terrific. That was a loss for me on the money line prediction, but we did get the method of victory correct with the KO. Gilbert Burns, that was like, I felt very confident in that one. Huge favorite, though. Was tough to bet chalk. Jorge was durable, so I think we did over. Alex Pereira, Israel Adesanya. We won that one with the Izzy prediction. I didn't think he was going to get him out in that fashion. Was that round 2? Yeah, round 2. I didn't think he was going to get him out that quickly, but not surprised by the knockout victory. And yeah, Izzy looked like he was getting chopped down with the leg kick, but I don't know. Besides that, Izzy's, I don't know. He probably lost round 1 because of those leg kicks and the pressure, right? Yeah, and he got outstruck. 26 leg kicks. Just a big knockout at the end for Izzy, so pretty cool. So overall, what did we do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Damn, 7 and 5. Not as good as I would like, but moving on. Next week, Goldfish Memory. I'm the best to ever do this. What did I click on? Here we go. This is a great card, by the way. UFC Fight Night, Holloway versus Allen. Taking place in the great Kansas City at 7:30, so it's an earlier card too. Like that. When do the prelims start? 4:30 p.m. Central Time. And then 7:30 for the main card. So it should be done. I mean, hopefully. Let's see. Because when it starts at 9, it's like midnight. So that's like 3 hours. So let's give it 3 hours. 7:30, 10:30. It's done. It's not awful. First fight of the night is Jocelyn Edwards taking on Lucy Pudilova. Jocelyn Edwards is on a 2-fight win streak. Lucy's coming into this fight. She's 1-0 in the UFC. Looking at them stylistically, Lucy did a little bit of wrestling her last fight. I think standing up, this is a very close matchup. I would even maybe give it to Jocelyn Edwards in her reach to have an advantage there. And she just looks better. The more time she spent in the UFC, she is on this little win streak here. I mean, she's looked good. Jocelyn Edwards has like no takedown defense, so if you can take her down and hold her down, you'll probably win the fight. I don't know. There's just a lot of question marks I still have about Jocelyn Edwards. I'm going to go with her on a money line prediction, but definitely some question marks on her. I would be more inclined to say, like, yeah, we're probably going to see something that goes to a decision. Holy shit, fucking Bulls. Hell yeah. Pardon my French. But the MFing Bulls. Let's go. All right, Jocelyn Edwards, slight dog play at plus 120. I'm guessing odds makers like this one to go the distance because of that over under 2.5 there. They do, yeah, decision minus 280. kind of chalky. Maybe a round robin piece depending on what I got in there, but I don't know. I like, I guess, Jocelyn Edwards' decision. Maybe this is a fight where it's super close for that decision. Splitter majority, plus 350. Who knows? Who knows? Probably not betting. Aaron Phillips taking on Gaston Bolanos. Aaron Phillips, he's 0-1 in his most recent stint with the UFC. He was 0-2 in 2014. He's coming off of a loss to Jack Shore in 2020. So he's on a long layoff. Gaston, he's also on a little bit of a layoff, a year-long layoff. He's making his debut. All 6 of his wins have come inside the distance via KO. He seems like a good, explosive striker, spinning attacks. I favor him in the stand-up department here. I think if Aaron Phillips is able to get this, it's him, but Gaston seems like he seems super athletic. I think he could maybe keep the fight standing, get this knockout at some point in the fight. So give me Gaston Bolanos. He is the favorite at minus 190. Odds makers don't like this to go the distance. I think if it's... Yeah, they like the Bolanos KO at plus 120. I don't know if I love the line there. But I do like Gaston here. Fight parlays, Gaston, Bolanos, in under 1.5 plus 180. I don't know. If you follow me on Twitter, it's on the lower left of the screen. My Twitter there. I'll post my official bets tomorrow morning. Next fight we've got is Bruna Brazil taking on Denise Gomez. Bruna Brazil, she's coming off of Dana White's Contender Series, making her UFC debut. Denise Gomes, she's coming off of Dana White Contender Series. She's 0-1 in the UFC thus far, and she didn't look very good in her debut. Is very young, but just, didn't look very good at all. As far as stylistically, how I think Bruna Brazil wins this fight, I think you just keep it standing. She's going to have a striking advantage, and then I think for Denise Gomes, she's very tough, but she's got to dominate as far as grappling, and I don't know if she's going to do that against Bruna Brazil, who's, I think, pretty good. So I'm going to roll with Bruna Brazil in this fight. She is the favorite at minus 150. I mean, I'd say a decision just because of how tough Denise is. But that's my prediction. Maybe not a bad idea to hedge. Like, if I'm willing to spend 10 on Bruna Brazil, maybe split it in half. 5 on the decision, 5 on Bruna Brazil, just to hedge a little bit. Landon Venata taking on Daniel Zellhuber. Lando Venata, he's on a 1-fight losing streak in his entire career. He's been around for a while. He's just up and down, win loss. He's taking on Daniel Zellhuber, who just looked awful in his debut with the company. I mean, it wasn't throwing any strikes, very inactive, so I think he's a good striker. He's a very good striker. You can see his win by KO percentage. He's a good striker. Size-wise, he's got a nice frame, 77-inch. Huge reach advantage. I think there's a lot to like about Daniel Zellhuber. He's very well-rounded. He just needs to let go of his hands in this fight. So I think Lando Venata's path to victory is probably securing takedowns, maybe, stunning Daniel. Whatever happened in the first fight, maybe there was something we didn't see that kind of stunned him. The leg kicks, something like that just threw him off, where he wasn't able to let go of his hands. But I think you gotta like Daniel in this fight. Although Landon lost his last fight, and he usually wins after that. Very close line here. Zellhuber, minus 130. I believe Zellhuber and Venata have... This might be a pretty big age discrepancy, too, and I think usually that favors the younger fighter. Odds makers like it to go the distance. I'm curious, loss-wise, what Landon Venata is lost by. Orlando. What do I call him, Landon? Two submission losses, 4 decision losses, 3 and 4 only in decisions. So I guess the decision statistically makes sense, right? Whatever. So I guess we'll go with the decision for Zellhuber, which is what the odds makers like. Next, we've got Jillian Robertson taking on Piera Rodriguez. 1, 2, 3. None in the main. Sorry, I noticed it was like male fight, female fight, male fight, and I wasn't sure if there was one more or not, and it doesn't look like it. But Jillian Robertson taking on Piera Rodriguez. Jillian Robertson is making her debut at 115 pounds, and Jillian Robertson's she's big. She just looks like really strong and muscular. Piera Rodriguez, she's 2-0 in the UFC, and so she's making her 3rd fight appearance in the UFC. I don't really know how to play this fight. I think it's maybe going to be faster, look better on the feet. I think Jillian Robertson gets tired. It'll be interesting to see if she retains her strength and how her cardio looks at 115, because I don't think it's always been the best. She's very strong, though, physically imposing, and now she's going to an even lighter division. I think I favor her in this fight. I really think I do. I think it's a big test for Piera Rodriguez, too, who previously fought Sam Hughes and Kay Hansen to decisions. So I think this is and Piera Rodriguez is very strong too, but Jillian Robertson's very strong. Zach Cummins. Oh, let's see the odd line. So Jillian is the slight favorite at minus 125. I would say a decision, but the odds makers like the submission. Interesting. I guess I like the submission a little bit too, just because it's Jillian Robertson and she is a very capable submission artist. How many wins via submission? 73% of her wins come via submission. Wow. Is that 8? 8, 2 via decision, 1 via KO. Yep. Zach Cummins taking on Ed Herman. Zach Cummins, he is on a 1-fight win streak, but he last fought in 2020. He's going up from 185 to 205 to take on Ed Herman, who's he's 41 years old. Ed Herman. He's on a 1-fight losing streak. He also hasn't fought in a while. I don't know. It's a rough fight. I think Zach Cummins is a really heavy favorite. I mean, to be perfectly honest, just because of the, like, how Zach... I don't know. I don't know how Zach Cummins is going to look at... Let's see. Alright, moving on. I just don't know how he's going to look. I was going to see if we could see a picture from weigh-in today, but, yeah, I mean, I guess I'll go with, Zach Cummins. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to think, just because Ed Herman looked so bad in his last fight. Both are capable as submission artists. I don't know. I don't know what this is going to look like. I like it to go the distance. Decision is at minus 150. They like... Odds makers like the decision too. I don't know. It's kind of a gross fight. Next fight we've got is Brandon Royval taking on Matheus Nicolau. Ultimately, I'm going to settle with Brandon Royval as my pick. And I just stylistically really like how he fights. His two most recent losses were to Davidson Figueiredo. No, sorry. Brandon Moreno in 2020 and Pantoja in 2021. Who are both now fighting for the belt. So, I mean, has great experience, is dangerous everywhere the fight goes, does get hit a lot, but those leg kicks, the way he swings them, he'll just crack them shin on shin. He's a dangerous fighter, dangerous in the scrambles. He's taking on Nicolau, who's very technical, 4-0 in the UFC. You know, he's super good, very talented. I think he's a black belt jiu-jitsu artist, but I think just stylistically, this is a fight that's really going to test Matheus, and I think he doesn't pass it, and I think Brandon Royval wins. I just think he breaks him. The longer the fight goes, I think he just breaks him. So I'm going to roll with Brandon Royval. Probably like the finish with these two guys, plus 170 for Royval. I mean, Royval's tough. I think if you like Nicolau, maybe you like the decision. But we've seen Royval get dropped. He got submitted by Pantoja. I'm going to say I like the Brandon Royval finish a little bit. It's a good fight, though. Really looking forward to that one. And now we've got our first bet that I mentioned where, like, if we have a live opportunity where, like, TJ Brown's getting early takedowns against Bill Algeo. Maybe it gets, it's easy in round one. He gets a couple takedowns. Bill Algeo gets up. Volume-wise, the output looks very similar. TJ Brown might even look like he wins round one. Like, maybe that's a good live bet opportunity is what I'm thinking for this one. But I like Bill Algeo in this fight. He's on a one-fight losing streak. He lost a split decision to Andre Feely. He has horrible takedown defense, but he does not get held down, which is good. TJ Brown is, he just grapples a lot. I mean, he shoots for a lot of takedowns in his fights. I don't think he has the best gas tank, and I think that makes this a really, really tough test for him. So I think maybe TJ Brown takes round one. I think by round two, for sure by round three, he's really, really hurting, and Bill Algeo might be able to get him out of there. Give me Bill Algeo in this matchup. Something to watch for is both of these guys can get caught. I just think TJ Brown, when he gets tired, he does get sloppy and makes mistakes, and I think Bill Algeo capitalize on those. So give me Bill Algeo here, minus 190. Odds makers like this to go the distance, but I don't know. What's TJ Brown? What can Brown do for you? Yeah, I mean, 6 out of his 9 losses are inside the distance. So I don't know. If I like Bill Algeo, what's the deal? I think stylistically he could put it on him, but so maybe I think there's a little bit of value like in the inside the distance props for Bill Algeo. Bill Algeo KO or submission plus 240, like something inside the distance just seems, I don't know, just how I think it's going to play out in my head. Seems reasonable. Next fight we've got is Clay Guida. Oh, we're moving on to the main card. Clay Guida taking on Rafa Garcia. Let's do a quick Bulls check. Alright, I gotta get moving. Clay Guida taking on Rafa Garcia. Clay Guida, he's on a one-fight win streak. Wrestling, cardio monster. Super tough, always entertaining to watch a Clay Guida fight, but he's taking on Rafa Garcia here, who is also a wrestler, and stylistically, I'm just not sure what to expect in this one. I think Rafa Garcia is obviously the younger fighter. We have seen him in the past show some cardio issues, and Clay Guida is tough. Very capable of recovering. I don't want to fall into a trap in this one. Rafa Garcia is the biggest favorite, I believe, on the card. Minus 265. And, I mean, I agree. Like, he should win. I just think, stylistically, like, it's wrestler against wrestler, and I don't know, and I do think Clay's obviously at the tail end of his career, whereas Rafa Garcia is building up, and he is looking better and better. It's just we've seen a cardio issue in the past in the UFC, not recently, and I just think it's hard to trust him at minus 265. I am picking him to win. Yeah, I mean, I could see a decision. Like I say, Clay's got good cardio if it's a wrestling match. I don't know if Rafa Garcia gets Clay out of there just wrestling him, you know? So, probably the Rafa Garcia decision is what I'm leaning with. The next fight we've got is Pedro Munoz taking on Chris Gutierrez. Pedro Munoz is on a 2-fight losing streak. Had the no contest his last fight, was the eye poke against Sean O'Malley. Accidental eye poke. So it was ruled a no contest. But then prior to that fight, lost to Dominic Cruz and Jose Aldo. So we haven't seen really anything too impressive from him recently. One win since March of 2019. So he's just been super inactive, but does carry a really, really solid resume, right? Has fought some great fighters, been at the top of the division for a while. Good jiu-jitsu artist, good striker. But Chris Gutierrez, he's coming into this on a 7-fight win streak. Does have a draw in there, and I think this is his toughest test for sure. But I like his striking. I think it could be a close fight. But yeah, I think give me Chris Gutierrez in this fight. Gutierrez is a pretty heavy favorite at -200 there. Odds makers like this one to go the distance. I think I'd have to agree. I think a lot of goes. And then as far as Munoz, what's his losses look like? Yeah, all 7 losses via decision. So, interesting. I think I'm leaning, understanding that all Munoz's losses have been decisions. I guess I'm leaning with, yeah, it goes the distance. Even though we've seen violent finishes from Gutierrez in his last 2 fights. All right. The next fight we've got is Tanner Boser taking on Ian Cutelaba. So this is one, again, I marked as live. Tanner Boser is coming down from heavyweight to 205 to take on Cutelaba. Cutelaba's on a 3-fight losing streak. Boser's on a 1-fight losing streak. Boser, so first, Ian, powerful, great wrestler, but he's one and done. If this fight gets out of the first round, he's stands 0 shot to win. He's not good. But the good news for him is Tanner Boser's takedown defense is awful, and he's just terrible on the ground. So if Ian can get him down in the first round, he could probably ground and pound him out of there. Maybe get a submission. So I'm going to roll with Cutelaba, but if it gets out of the first round, Cutelaba will have probably just finished dominating that first round, right? And winning convincingly. There will be a massive flood of money that goes towards Tanner Boser. And just have it ready at the end of the first there, you know? Same with Algio. Same with Quarantillo, who we'll talk about later. Dustin Jacoby taking on Azamat Murzakanov. Dustin Jacoby, he just lost a split decision to Khalil Roundtree. Azamat, he's 2-0 in the UFC. I was kind of back and forth on this one, but I think just as like a minute winner, I favor Dustin Jacoby, and it's that simple. The reason I'm going with him is just because I trust him to win minutes. Azamat has just not shown the best volume. He's super powerful. I don't think he's really going to be able to wrestle Dustin Jacoby. And I think it's kind of knockout or he's going to lose. So I'm going to go with Dustin Jacoby here. I like his frame a lot. He's going to be taller, have the reach advantage. He just can't get hit. I believe he is a kickboxer, so as long as he can avoid the big shots, I think he'll be in really good shape. And he is tough. He is really tough, but I'm going to roll with Dustin Jacoby in this fight. I think he wins it. Jacoby is the favorite at -150. Let's do a quick look on the bulls here. Let's do this quickly. Odds makers don't like this to go the distance. I mean, I think if you like Dustin Jacoby, it could go the distance. Like, it could be that decision at +120. It could also be a knockout. For both of these guys, extremely nice prowess with the knockout. So, maybe the knockout isn't a bad bet, but we've never seen Azamat lose, and Dustin Jacoby has only been knocked out, I think, once. So, I kind of think sometimes those lost stats shine through a little bit stronger than the win buys, if that makes sense. The toughness, the durability of these fighters. Like, if someone's never been knocked out and they're facing a knockout artist, it's like, I mean, not that, I'm sure I don't know actually if Quarantillo's been knocked out or not, but just for example here, knockout artist, super dangerous in the first round, probably. This fight is what I'm expecting. And when they get tired, you're just in there with a very durable fighter who's got good cardio oftentimes. So, back to Dustin versus Azamat. I think probably there's a little value on that decision. Edson Barbosa taking on Billy Quarantillo for the co-main event. I like Billy Quarantillo a lot. Very entertaining fighter. He's 5-2 in the UFC, including Dana White's Contender Series. He's got 5 finishes. So he's definitely bringing it, pushing the pace. Edson Barbosa, he's coming in on a 2-fight losing streak. Carries big power, nice kicks, very, very dangerous. But, he does need to stay in this for 15 minutes. If he hurts Billy Quarantillo, maybe he can get him out of there with like something slick, but I really don't see it happening. I think Billy Quarantillo pushes the pace. He's a cardio monster, and he breaks him late. That's what I think is going to happen. So let's take a look at the odds. Quarantillo is the favorite at -170. I like it to not go the distance. I think Billy Q gets it done via KO. Nice. Okay. And then we've got the last fight of the night. We've got Max Holloway taking on Arnold Allen. Arnold Allen, 10-0 in the UFC. He's taking on Max Holloway, who's coming off of his loss to Volk. Is obviously 0-3 to Volk, but otherwise hasn't lost at 145 since his loss to McGregor in 2013. Max is one of my all-time favorite fighters. Just terrific output, entertaining, slick boxing. I think he's a really, really good fighter. I think Arnold Allen presents some challenges for him. We've never really seen Max get dominated in a grappling match. So I don't really see that playing out. I think how Arnold Allen beats him is just by being like way faster. And I'm not convinced that we see that. I do think Arnold Allen is an obviously very interesting prospect for the division. But like, yeah, I mean, I think we're going to have to see that huge speed discrepancy like we saw in the last fight against Volkanovski, where like Max just looked way, way slower, because I think technique-wise and output-wise, there's just like a lot of reasons to like Max Holloway in this matchup. But that being said, I do think Arnold Allen stands a shot to win. I think it could be a close fight. I don't see him knocking Max out. Max is super tough, but I mean, it could be close. But I do like Max Holloway in this fight. Max Holloway, and let's see what y'all thought. Let's see. Oh, interesting. The audience likes Arnold Allen. Alright, so Max Holloway is the favorite at minus 165. Odds makers like this one to go the distance. I like that too at minus 125 with the blessed. Unless Arnold Allen just gets butchered. Which I don't know how he's going to look in rounds 4 or 5, but we'll see. We'll see. I tend to lean with the Max decision at plus 175, though. So, yeah, normally we would do trending topics, but because the Bulls are on, I'm going to just give it, and because of last week's scandalous incident, I'm going to give myself the night off. I hope everyone enjoyed the show. Have a safe weekend, and I will talk to you next Friday. I'm in Houston next week. Just keep an eye out on my Twitter for like my schedule. I'll share that with you. All right, have a good night, everyone. We can check together. Let's go. All right. Yeah, this is very important. There's never been something more important before.